This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Grant, it's Wednesday, which means what?
Hump Day!
Yeah, it is. You know what day it is, folks. It's Wednesday on the Bax and Grant Sports Show.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Guess what day it is?
What day is it?
It's Hump Day!
Oh, great. It's Hump Day. Wow. I was like, for 0.2 seconds, my name's not Mike, Grant. We've been doing this show since November. I hope you know what my name is by now.
I'm well aware of what you're doing.
I would hope so,
Well, I'm afraid you might go into an identity crisis because Baxter, what's your real identity?
No one really knows.
Who are you?
People will call me Bax outside the show, and I'm like, who? Oh, me. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I never identify.
I've called you that once or twice, and I'm like,
I never identify as
when
Bax.
did I start doing that?
I don't mind it. I just don't ever do it. People call me Baxter. My name is so weird, though, when people say Baxter or Bax. I'm like, who is that? I'm like, it's me. It's me.
I'm special!
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's weird, the perks of having a weird name, I guess. You just never fully know who you are. Or maybe that works out better in my favor. Either way, Grant, aside from my identity crisis, where is our identity on social media? Did you like that?
Jeez, that was...
Boom!
that was good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
And Baxter with his transition.
That's the first one. A minute into the show, I got a transition.
Par 4.
Thank you. But anyway, Grant, social media, where can they find us?
Social media, they can find us on Facebook at the Bax and Grant Sports Show. You can also go on Twitter and find us at BG Sports Show. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at bgsportshow@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed.
Now, our newest way of social media is Instagram, and by using the hashtag, the Bax Grant Sports Show?
Bax
Grant. The Bax Grant Sports Show. It's a little bit different from the title, so it's weird. So, once again, hashtag the Bax Grant Sports, plural, show.
I'm almost positive it's sports. I could be wrong.
I think the Bax
Either
Grant
way,
Sports Show.
Hashtag
Anyway,
something to do with the show. It'll get to us eventually. Either way, Grant, it's an exciting time.
and it'll show up on Sports Radio America
Hopefully.
if you use that.
Hopefully, if you do it correctly, yes. But you can also find us right here at 9 a.m. Central. My God, we need help. 9 a.m. Central on Spreaker.com. For those of you watching us on the Cube as well, you can notice that we actually get a little bit more space to move around now because we changed cameras. So thank the Lord for that. So we can not be, sandwiched in like sardines in half for the show. So it's a wonderful thing. We can actually move around. I can talk with my hands, enhance my inner Italian. Anyway, we're very excited for the show today. Megan Landvater is here to chat about the NFL schedule, along with the NHL playoffs and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a full show today, folks. I think we're ready to get rolling with it. Are you
I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's bring in Megan. I'm really excited for this because the 2015 NFL schedule has officially been released. Good morning, Megan. How are you?
Morning. I'm okay. I'm a little sick.
Oh, no.
So if my voice sounds off, I apologize.
That's okay. We'll stand over here like this. It's not a big deal. So you look a little tired, but you got your Packers shirt on this morning.
I do.
It's very exciting, representing
Yeah.
the Green Bay Packers. Now, you've had a chance to look at the schedule so
I
far
have,
this season,
yes.
or for the upcoming season.
Yes.
What are some of your initial thoughts about the season schedule as a whole before we get into the Packers specifically? If I can speak
the
English.
season as a whole.
As a whole,
The whole league.
As the whole league, yeah. There's a few bigger games that have been brought to people's attention. Obviously, week one, you've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tennessee Titans, the two arguably worst teams in the league, squaring off. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how that game goes.
Well, I'm interested in that one just because I'm interested to see if the Buccaneers draft Winston, which it's sounding like that's
More than likely, yeah.
I'll be interested. The first game, it's always interesting to see how the rookies come in and play. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because this article from Yahoo Sports, there's multiple Packer games on this, which means that, the NFL is actually semi-happy with Green Bay this year, or the Yahoo as a whole might just like them, and the NFL, I don't even really know. But, some of the other big games, I think one thing that I think is really funny is that the Patriots and the Giants play each other this year, and people are already saying, oh, it's a rematch of the Super Bowl. Will the Giants be able to win again? I'm like, the Giants shouldn't have won that game in the first place a few years ago, and second of all, this Giants team is way worse than that old Giants team was back however many years ago that was.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that they shouldn't have won that game. I mean,
it was really lucky.
I mean, they won it. They won it fair and square, so you can't say they shouldn't have won it. Any team has the opportunity.
Physics were defied
to
for
win
one
the
play.
game. Just stop being rude.
I'm not being rude.
You are absolutely correct in saying that the Giants are not the same as they were.
Right.
Thank you.
I didn't disagree with
I
that.
know.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't see the Giants being able to pull that one off.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are also looking forward to that game, obviously. But the fact that it's as hyped up as it is, I think, is a little ridiculous. Personally, obviously, it probably will be the last Tom Brady Peyton Manning game. A lot of people are assuming it will be, in terms of the regular season. Whether or not it happens in the AFC playoffs, nobody knows. It's probably could be assumed, but you don't ever really know. Peyton Manning probably retiring this year. Probably,
yeah,
maybe.
I'd say if not this year, definitely after next season. I just want to say something really quick.
Please.
You know, it's really sad when you said Peyton Manning was going to square off against Tom Brady. I thought New England versus Indianapolis, and then I'm like,
no,
wait, he plays for the Broncos
he plays
now.
for the Broncos. I almost forget that myself.
It was really weird. I had a weird moment.
We all have those moments occasionally, Grant. It's okay. I understand that. I think multiple Eagle fans this year are going to be like, why isn't LaShawn McCoy getting the ball? And be like, he's in Buffalo. That's why. And they're like, oh. That'll be
Tebow,
interesting.
though. Tebow.
Yeah,
Tebow.
Tebow up
That
the middle.
Tebow, though.
Tebow up the middle for a half a yard, like every play. Just run the QB draw. It's possible.
But I found an interesting quote somewhere, and I can't remember exactly. And we were going over this last night that we need to write things down more because
Probably
we
a good
find
idea.
things that we're like, oh my gosh, that's super cool.
In our
But
old age, we forget things.
in our very old age. But it was a quote from Chip Kelly, and I forgot the situation, but he said he would never want to run. I think it was when he was in Oregon or something. He was saying he would never want to run, and he used his name specifically, a Tim Tebow style kind of offense.
And now,
I was
look
like,
at where they are.
Interesting.
I love it. Before we
Very
get to the Packers
interesting.
schedule, Megan, I am curious to know your thoughts about the Tebow move. Since you are a very opinionated NFL writer, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the move.
Okay, as an NFL writer, I'm very, very sketchy about it. I think everyone is. But as like a personal just like fan and lover of all crazy things in sports, I absolutely love it because I just love when sports are ridiculous and crazy and you never know what's going to happen. So, I was a supporter of Tebow when he was in the NFL. I hope he does well. Will he?
You never know.
I don't
You
know.
never know.
I liked that.
That was well timed.
I was upsetting. That was
You
upsetting.
should-
I wasn't
Come
involved.
on, Grant. Next time you should.
I
be
see.
involved
I'm
with
not
that.
wanted here.
I didn't say you weren't wanted. I'm just, you got to be on the. I mean, I've been working with Megan for like 2 or 3 years now.
Fine. The Megan can do the show. I'm leaving.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not-
fine. I mean, whatever. You've quit like 7 times already. Jeez,
On
it's
air, too,
ridiculous.
for
I
half
know.
of them.
Never quit off the air. But anyway, Megan, looking at the 2015 Green Bay Packers
The
schedule,
Green
the Packers schedule. I know what team we
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
The Packers, right
Packers
there.
right here.
Aaron Rodgers, the Super Bowl,
Beautiful,
all that jazz.
beautiful. Mhm.
Anyway, an interesting. Sure.
Continue.
Anyway, the first 6 games of the season, the bye week is in week 7. Realistically, it's not the easiest start to the season. I was talking with our good friend Danny Hoffenstein last night, and I said I would not be shocked if one of 2 things happen, where the Packers either go 5-1 or they go 3-3. Because of the schedule, because of Seattle, because of St. Louis and San Francisco. Because I'm not worried about San Diego, I'm not worried about Kansas City, I'm really not worried about Chicago.
Well, and all of those games that you listed are all home games.
Yes, but I feel like
Interest-
St. Louis is on the rise.
Yes.
I feel like, San Fran's on the road.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
why I'm not worried about them.
San Fran, but it all depends.
Did you say San Fran?
I
or
did.
Oh, I thought you said
I'm
San
not,
Diego.
I'm not worried about San Diego.
Oh.
Especially if Phillip Rivers leaves.
True.
Which,
True.
who knows if that's going to happen or not. But Seattle, coming into Lambeau, is a huge game. That's the marquee matchup. That's the number 1 rated game by
Right.
Yahoo Sports this year. How big would it be for Green Bay to get that victory at home finally against Seattle?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I can't state that enough that it's important to win that game. I really wish we could get away from Seattle. I mean, okay, I'm torn because I want to beat Seattle
Yes.
after what happened in the championship game. It'd be great to beat Seattle, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, we have to deal with Seattle again. But
One more
I think
time,
we
why
can-
not?
We proved that we can beat them in the championship. We just Yes,
No,
we did.
we did. You're right.
We did.
They did. We're not
they-
on the team.
Yeah.
Whoever they are.
I really want the Packers to win this game.
Yes.
For multiple reasons. I feel like a lot of times they get to the big games and they do win them. They won the Super Bowl in 2010.
Yes.
But then sometimes they just lose games and drop games when they should win games. I feel like it's a Wisconsin thing. It's really annoying.
It is.
But
Well, the thing is, too, when you look at Green Bay and you're saying, well, either they go 5-1 or they go 3-3. Green Bay has this thing where they just like to start off really slow, and then all of a sudden they kind of get good at the end, and it's great and everything like that.
Yeah.
You look at last year when they were 1-2, and Aaron Rodgers famously said RELAX, but
I thought that was RESPECG.
it's classic.
Something else.
It's classic Green Bay to start slow. I hope that they don't, but
Why does that
I
have to be
wouldn't
classic Green Bay? Why can't we start off the season by winning games? Why
I
do we
mean,
have to
I
just-
like
why do they have
that.
to be
I like
slow?
that option.
But, okay, at the same time, would you rather start slow and finish strong, or would you rather be like, let's start really great and then
Peaking,
just
don't
collapse?
peak too soon.
You know what I would like? I would like start strong, finish strong, go 16-0, baby, because that's what I see.
Because, Grant, you agree.
Can I remind you of the 13-0 start, and we eventually went 15-1, and then we lost in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah, I don't care.
Ah.
16-0. We're gonna do it, baby.
I don't know.
That's what I say every time I see a Packers
You
schedule.
really
I
do.
just see 16-0
Yeah, as
potential
soon as I
written
showed
all
that
over
to
it.
you last night, you're like, oh, back 16-0, 16-0.
16-0. Here we come.
I'm not buying it, unfortunately. I'm a realist, kind of like Megan. We both have high hopes, but at the same time, we're not that, believing
you
I mean, I'm a
believe, though.
realist.
You believe.
I'm a
You
realist.
believe
Good.
that we will win.
Good.
I
That's
believe.
That's a very good thing. But Megan, looking at this schedule, what are some of the games that jump out to you, or just the way it's structured? What was the biggest thing that really jumped out at you about this year's schedule?
Well, obviously, the biggest game, I agree with the Seattle being the biggest game. I thought there was a lot of good matchups. I'm excited to play Denver.
Yeah.
Play the Cowboys. Although, well, no, yeah.
Dallas
Excited to play
comes-
Cowboys.
The
Yeah.
Cowboys
comes
was
here.
the Dallas Cowboys game was the 7th ranked game on Yahoo Sports.
Mostly because of the Des Bryant play. That has nothing to do with anybody else. It's because Des Bryant will finally get his revenge. No, he won't.
No.
Stop talking.
But I look at the schedule overall, and I don't think it's. I mean, there are some good teams on there. We're gonna have to obviously play well, but I'm not terrified of it. I'm not intimidated, being like this is gonna be super difficult.
Yeah, yep, no, I completely agree with that. We were even looking at the Minnesota Vikings schedule yesterday, too, and we're like, yeah, they don't have an awful schedule, just because for Connor Christensen's perspective. But they have a bye week in week 5, and Grant, we both agreed that a bye week any time before maybe even week 6 is kind of useless.
Right, unless what we were saying that you have a bad start to the season, and you could, as a Vikings fan, if you're looking at the team, they have not played well over the years, and they're starting to make some moves up. They're kind of in that breakthrough phase of where they could be a potentially good team. They just need to add a few players. Looking at how what's going to happen with Adrian Peterson, wondering what's going to happen with that. So there's a lot of factors going in,
Yes.
maybe with the offensive and defensive lines, depending who they pick up for that, how they are going to play. So it potentially could be good for them saying, okay, we went 2-2 or we went 1-3. Maybe they go 4-0. I don't know. But if they have a 2-2 or 1-3 start to the season, they can move some pieces around so their season isn't completely lost yet.
Yes, and I think Green Bay will definitely be a good test for them. They'll take on the Vikings in Week 11 and Week 17. Now, Megan, if there's one game aside from the Seattle game that's going on, everybody's excited about the Thanksgiving evening game. Chicago Bears, the first time the Packers have hosted a Thanksgiving game since 1923, and of course, they're retiring Brett Favre number. Yes.
Yes.
How do you feel about that game as a whole?
As a whole, I'm really excited about it. I like playing on Thanksgiving. The Bears are obviously a good matchup. I'm confident that we can beat the Bears, so Thanksgiving will be a good time. And additionally, I'm excited for the Brett Favre, to finally
Officially,
close
yes.
that chapter, be like, oh, look, everything's good, everyone's happy, yay. We can move on with our lives and realize that he was a good quarterback and we were lucky to have him.
Exactly, yes. And
He
it's,
gave us 16 years of
did.
fantastic
Brett.
football.
of sheer glory. And as the Packers are on their quest for 16-0, Grant, this year, that will be...
It's not a quest. It's already solidified.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know about that. But anyway, one last thing I wanted to make a note of, Megan, to get your opinion about, is the Thanksgiving Day schedule as a whole. A lot of high syndicated news media has come out and said that this is probably one of the worst slate of Thanksgiving games ever. And you've got, and I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You've got Philly and Detroit. You've got Carolina and Dallas. And then you've got Green Bay and Chicago. Sure, they aren't marquee, super-duper matchups, but if Detroit plays as well as they were playing last year and Philly actually works out the way, Chip Kelly's brainchild wants it to be, that could be a huge game.
That could be a good game.
Yeah, Packers-Bears, it's going to be a more special moment for Packer fans, obviously because of being on Thanksgiving again and Brett Favre. And then looking at that Dallas-Carolina game, I'm not even sure why Carolina got a Thanksgiving game to begin with.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, Dallas-Washington, I understand that as much as I hate it and as much as that game is so boring. I would at least make an exception for it because it's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, Dallas, Washington. Okay, sure, makes sense. But, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the schedule either, but I think that the 2 out of the 3 games could be a lot more fun than people are giving them credit for.
And when the Packers and the Lions did not play last year in Thanksgiving, I almost threw a table. And
it doesn't take much for you to want to throw a table.
Like,
though.
why do you not have the Packers play the Lions? It's a tradition. I was just actually watching a Friends episode. It was shot in 2001. What were they watching on Thanksgiving Day? They were watching Packers versus Lions. That's what they were watching. And I'm like, you do not have them playing each other? I'm like, what are you doing? I would rather not play.
They're trying to get a reaction out of you. The NFL wants to hear you, Grant.
Yeah, let them know.
Want to hear how upset you are.
Tweet at the NFL and tell them.
Because they're going to tweet me right back.
A letter.
Yes.
Yeah, because he'll care.
He cares deeply. How dare you?
He cares. That's a whole other topic. Exactly. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by, Megan. Where can the good people find you on social media?
They can find me at Landvater812 on Twitter.
On Twitter, all right. Megan Landvater, a writer for Dairyland Express and SidelinesApp.com. Thank you so much for stopping by, and best of luck as you feel better.
Thank you.
We look forward to hearing your insights during the Packer season. So have a good rest of your day, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, Grant, we're going to head off to a commercial, but before we do that, the NHL, the playoffs, girls and hockey, lots of fun things to chat about. Don't go anywhere. This is the Baxton Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Baxton Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Well, Grant, we had a lot of fun in the first segment. We were talking about the Green Bay Packers 2015 NFL schedule. We had Dairyland Express and SidelinesApp.com writer Megan Landvater on. She shared her insights for us, which is always a good time. We haven't had her on in a while. We had her talking about college basketball last time that she was on. So
we're not talking about college basketball.
Not talking about it anymore. We have moved on from it.
No, we haven't.
We've moved on from it, Grant.
I still have a hard time moving on from the NFC Championship game. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because at Target, they play that play because it's the number 2 catch of the season, according to like NFL.com or something like that. And they play the top 5 over and over and over again on the giant wall of 55-inch 4K televisions.
4K?
So, yeah, 4K. So I get to see my heart getting ripped out in 4K on about a 5-minute loop every day I work.
Wow. Sounds like a good old-fashioned time. I mean, to never go to Target again in my life. Anyway, Grant, wow. Now,
wow.
I don't even know where to go from there. In all honesty.
You can't transition.
Sure I
can.
Having your heart ripped out, Grant, happens
it.
in many sports.
No.
Especially hockey, with the playoffs going on right now. But an interesting debate that has been brought to my attention that I wanted to bring to your attention. See, I can find a way. I always find a way.
I thought I was able to weasel my way out of a transition.
Never. Anyway, An interesting topic I wanted to ask you about is there is a question on debate.org about can girls play on a boys' ice hockey team? Why or why not? Now, I know it's a very long, in-depth kind of debate that can be had, but I was curious about your opinion about this since we will talk about the NHL playoffs in the near future here.
Well, it was interesting what you pointed me towards. It's just a thing from debate.org, and I was like, okay, I was reading it, and at first I was like, can girls play hockey, yes or no? And I'm like, what kind of stupid question is this?
They can.
Of course they can.
I know
play
a lot
hockey.
of people that play girls hockey, and they're really, really good
Right.
at it.
I had a local girls hockey team at my high school, and it wasn't just for our high school because there wasn't enough players, which is unfortunate because I feel like it should be a bigger thing. But
Yes, yep.
there were some players from my school, and they were really good. They won state like every year.
Wow.
Because of how good they were. And the women's U.S. hockey team, they won silver in the Olympics last year,
Yes, they
second
did.
to Canada, which, as we all know, is a great hockey
Canadians.
a great hockey country. But
Those darn Canucks.
yeah,
Hockey terms.
Yeah,
Woo!
good
But they're
for
also
you,
mascots
good
of
for you.
hockey teams. What? Who? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I can ask you why did the Canucks have the orca as their symbol,
I don't know.
as their mascot? One
I
might
don't
say.
know.
I'll let you in on that
Please,
later.
eventually,
Later.
yeah. But anyway, the true
getting back
debate,
into
though.
this, for let them to play on women's hockey on a men's hockey team.
Yes.
that's a tough question because you have to always take into effect, and factor in with co-ed sports is that guys are just naturally, and I'm not trying to be sexist here or anything, they're just naturally bigger. And
that's
they're
true.
naturally stronger, and they have more weight to throw around, especially in a full contact sport known as hockey, where people get destroyed
Usually, yes.
on a daily basis.
I've seen some pretty fierce hits in women's hockey, but I can't imagine. For Cindy Crosby hitting a 25-year-old
Right.
female player in the NHL. I feel like he would end her.
Well, and the first time he wouldn't because he's a little wimp. But
it's the first name
anyway,
I thought of. Anyway,
you
Ovechkin.
could go with not even him. David Backus. That's
Sure,
a better answer.
David
Backus. Or
Wayne
even,
Gretzky comes back out of retirement.
Not
just to hit
even
a
Wayne
woman into the
Gretzky.
boards.
He can't hit. Anyway, you're naming off all these players that can't hit, and you're offending
Grant
me.
Coppersmith.
I cannot hit.
You're a goalie, so
I mean, I can hit with my stick. I have a big enough stick to
anyway.
rip somebody's Achilles wide open.
Wow, that sounds painful. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's interesting that this debate is continuing to be asked because hockey, it's considered a man's sport. I mean,
Right. I wouldn't say it's technical. Well, I guess you could argue with
Yes.
who you're talking to that it's a man's sport. But I also enjoy watching women's hockey.
I agree.
Around in this area, in our area, you were able to watch a lot of, well, not a lot, but you can watch some Madison women's hockey games.
Yeah.
And they dominate. And it's really fun to watch because they are really good.
Yes.
And so women's hockey, by all means, is not a bad thing to watch. I like watching it whenever I can, when I'm available.
Yep.
But the thing is, I would feel like the first time women would be able to play with men is that they would get absolutely destroyed, and then people would bring up, oh my gosh, she hit a woman, he's an abuser,
There's
something
yes,
because I
all of
am
those
not
things lead
denying
into
that would happen. I would think that some people would say that, and then guys would not want to hit, and then the game would decline. So I'm just weary on that. But then you can look at the flip side, and then you say, okay, well then give them the WNHL. Well, look at the WNBA. Is that a thing? The WNHL might be a thing, and I have no idea.
I feel like the level of play in the WNHL would probably be way better than the WNBA, but it's hard to fully understand that.
But you would get nothing. You would make nearly as much money as if you played in the NHL just because of the gender you are, and that's not fair to you. But then, there's a lot of gray area.
There really is. And like you said, I mean, you've got Madison, but we also, since we live around the Milwaukee area, there are smaller Division III colleges as well. I had an opportunity to go watch a good friend of mine, Jada, who plays for Concordia, Wisconsin, and she's a defenseman, or defensewoman, I guess. How would you? She plays
you could
defense.
You could say defenseman.
Okay,
That's the position.
defenseman. Oh, yes, and she was a dominant force, just not only by pushing up and scoring goals, but she wasn't afraid to hit people either. And that was, it's funny because outside of the hockey rink, she's a teacher. She's this sweet, cute little thing, and I'm like, oh, look at you, you're gonna go play hockey. And then she was like beating people up. I'm like, oh dang! I'm like, this girl has got
Go
some
get
skills. But she's a fantastic skater. Men or women because you've got figure skating,
Well,
but
skating is like, I think you could have better female skaters than men's skaters.
and yeah, a lot of it kind of comes down to
Size.
physical size, build, all of that.
And
But
I do want to make one point quick because there was a comment on debate.org that I definitely disagree with and that shouldn't be considered an argument for against females playing with men in hockey.
Yes.
Is saying it takes away a spot for a boy to develop. And I strongly disagree with that because when I think about sports, the better player is going to play.
Yes.
I don't care if you're the coach's son or if you're a boy over a girl. If you are allowing girls and boys to play together, if the girl is better, you let them play. I don't care if a boy can't develop. He can develop as well as he can. He can learn more and get better.
yes. Yep, just kind of going off of that really fast before we look at the NHL playoffs. There was a girl at a high school down in Naples, one of the biggest high schools. She was the kicker for the boys' varsity football team because she could kick a ball 80 miles an hour and could kick about a 65-yard field goal.
Wow.
She's also one of the best Division I soccer players that have ever come out of the Florida area. But even still, she beat out other good guy kickers for that spot and had a very, very good, I think she only kicked for a year or two, but it was huge news around the community. It's like, oh, there's a girl kicker. Oh, there's a girl kicker. It's like, yeah, she's good. I've played with her and against her multiple times. I'm like, she can go. Take her. She's way better than me. I was never that great, but even still, like, I would have picked her over 95% of the guy kickers in the Naples area because she was such a talented and disciplined and just a bomb of a leg, too.
Get her in the NFL.
Yeah, right? That would be great. But anyway, Grant, the NHL playoffs, but a good topic for conversation, the debate.org. We're going to be definitely featuring more from their site in the near future. They've got a lot of good stuff on there. So check them out when you got a minute, debate.org. Grant, the NHL playoffs, with about 4 minutes before we have to get into your rant. What's going on? A lot of more games have been played. Two teams, the Anaheim Ducks and the Montreal Canadiens, have commanding 3-0 leads in their series. What's jumped out to you recently?
All right, well, recently, Chicago Blackhawks had a huge game last night.
Yes, they
going
did.
into triple overtime, now going 3-1 over the Nashville Predators. Not shocked at all, even though I don't like the Blackhawks. I hate the Blackhawks with a passion as a Blues fan. I was cheering for them to win this game because I want to show everybody that they're absolutely wrong who said that the Predators are going to go deep this year, that they're going to beat the Blackhawks. No, you are wrong. Accept it. They're one game away from elimination.
Hammer down. I love it.
I was glad to see. And going into triple overtime is Chicago Blackhawks hockey. That's what the Chicago Blackhawks do there.
I feel like that would be a little nerve-wracking and be like, why can't we just close the game out in regular time?
Well, that's what happened a lot with the Blues and their series against the Chicago Blackhawks. That just kind of shows how good the teams are. And of course they'd want to get it done in regulation.
Sure.
But what I'm trying to say is that the Chicago Blackhawks have the grit and the determination to finish out a game because it's not like 5-minute overtimes like it is in the regular season. I believe it's 15 or 20-minute overtimes.
Wow.
So they played like a whole nother
period.
game.
Yeah.
They played a whole nother game practically. So congratulations to them. The Anaheim Duck Winnipeg Jets series it's really unfortunate because the Winnipeg Jets, I believe, except the first game, they were all 1-goal games. The last one that they played at home was in overtime. I just want to comment quick about the Winnipeg Jets. That was the first time since 1996, I believe, 1996 or 1998, since they have since they have been to the playoffs there. And the crowd was absolutely fantastic. They were cheering
You mentioned that on Monday.
Yeah, they were cheering everything. They were chanting. They were making their own chants. They were starting to wave everywhere.
Jets, Jets.
That's that one. I was kind of hoping that one would pop up.
That would be funny, yes.
I would have appreciated that. But it was a great factor. Loved it. Another thing I just want to point out, the Detroit Red Wings won last night.
Yes,
so
they
they are
did.
2-1 up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that is exciting. I'm really excited to see that they're taking that because I'm not doubting in any way that the Tampa Bay Lightning are able that they're going to win this series for sure. And then one quick thing before we close out this little hockey segment. The Calgary Flames 3-1 over Vancouver after winning last night.
Mm-hmm. And Game 5 will be Thursday night.
Yeah, and I actually picked Vancouver to go on. So it's really interesting
Calgary.
to see that the Flames are kind of sticking it to me and showing me that I'm wrong.
But
so.
isn't that good playoff hockey, though?
Yeah,
Sometimes going
they're
against the
playing
grain.
great hockey.
They are.
They're playing great hockey. I'm not upset at all.
Okay. So, and the Blues play the Wild tonight. So we'll see.
Big game. They need to win this one.
Big game.
Because they're down 2-1 after playing a horrific game. They went down. They lost 3-0. One was an empty net goal, but getting shot in the playoffs, that's not what you want to happen. I think they shot only 17 times. They only had
And a
17
hockey
shots.
game, that's like little to nothing.
That's not good.
No.
So that needs to change.
Yes, it is. But what does not need to change, Grant, is the next part of our show, Grant's Rant. So yeah, I find transitions. Any little.
You need to stop.
No, you love me. All right, Grant, 30 seconds on the clock. For those of you that don't know, Grant gets 30 seconds during his rant portion of the show to rant about anything he wants in the sports world, and I just get to keep time.
It's a little personal today.
It is personal.
It's a little personal today.
Shots
but
are going to be fired, but
No, shots will not be fired. It's just more of a plea.
more of a plea.
It's
Okay.
more of a plea.
A 30-second plea. All right, are you
It's a
ready?
30-second plea. Yeah.
On your mark, get set, go.
So my father is a
Wonderful man.
Wonderful man. Green Bay Packers season ticket holder, and he has 2 tickets to the Chicago Bears game. And I just want to say
On
that
Thanksgiving.
I just want to say, Dad, I love you. You're my favorite dad that I've ever had, even though you're my only dad. I would very much appreciate it as your favorite son. If you could take me to the Packer game, I would love you
Time's
forever,
up.
unconditionally.
Unconditionally. It wouldn't hurt his stock, though, if he were to take you.
It would not hurt in the slightest bit.
Well, Mr. Coppersmith, your son is calling you out. He wants to go to that Packers-Bears
Now
game.
everybody knows.
Exactly. Then the masses have been aware. Start the Twitter campaign, Grant to the Pack or something like that. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Grant to the Pack.
Grant to the Pack. Grant 4-pack with the number 4 for the
that-
Brett Favre retirement. Ah, there we go. That's why they pay us the big bucks. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 3 Grand Slams, Grant. 3! Brewers lost last night to the Cincinnati Reds.
What a
16-10.
shot.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then intern Laura's here, and it is What If Wednesday. And it's also Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. We're going to be right back. This is the Baxton Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Baxton Grant Sports Show, a.k.a. the Boogie Dance Party. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
There you go.
You
forgot about my name for a second.
I was like-
I'm Baxter? Bax?
Yeah, and then you're looking at me like I screwed up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
Grant. You're dancing.
like-
you threw off my groove, Grant. I was not.
Sorry.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. You've thrown off the Emperor's groove. But anyway, this is the Baxton Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. We have no fun at all when we do this show. Zero fun,
Absolutely
sir.
zero.
That's from Remember the Titans. I love that quote. Anyway, Grant, you know who also had fun last night?
Who had
Well,
fun
not the
last
Milwaukee
night?
Brewers, but the Cincinnati Reds had fun last night, Grant.
I bet they did.
The Cincinnati Reds combined with the Milwaukee Brewers for 26 runs last night. 26 in a baseball game. That's like D3 baseball right there. Like, I've heard of, D3 colleges going like, oh, we won 17-13. Oh, that's cool. Like,
Good for you.
Yeah, right? Remember when that was a thing. But anyway, professional baseball, there was something very unique that happened last night, Grant. Why don't you tell the good people what that was?
Well, I don't know what you're trying to get at. There was
Three things happened.
Okay, now I know what you're trying to get at. Okay, there was 3 grand slams that happened last night.
Yes.
And who had 2?
2 of them came in back-to-back innings for the Reds.
For the Reds, okay.
For the Reds, yes. I don't know the exact name of the players that hit him, but it was back-to-back innings.
I knew there was something with 2, and it
Yes.
escaped my mind. But yes, 3 grand slams happened last night. I can't remember the last time that happened. I do know that the last time that there was grand slams in the same inning by the same player was by a St. Louis Cardinals player. Just saying.
little shameless plug for the Cardinals here. I don't know why I'm standing on the Cardinals side. Why
I
am
mean,
on
you're the
Cardinals?
one that arranges the jerseys.
You know what? I'm sorry. Woo! Anyway, sorry, things are going out of control there for a second.
Everything's exploding. Right now.
My computer's
Everything's going
having a moment there.
Anyway, so Brewers and
The
the
Brewers
Reds.
losing 16-10. The Brewers are 2-12. Maybe they'll draft Jameis Winston this year. I don't know. It's a rebuilding year for the Brewers, I swear. The Reds are only 7-7. They're not even that great personally, but
Pick up Russell Wilson. Maybe they'll do.
Well,
there's rumor that he's gonna play for the Rangers because the Rangers want him to play.
they do. And he was like, I'd be a two-sport athlete, but I don't know if Seattle would sign off on that. But anyway, the Milwaukee Brewers, the downward slump continues. The 4 runs that they had for their grand slam came in the 3rd inning, and then there was that massive explosion for the remainder of the team by the Cincinnati Reds. So the Milwaukee Brewers, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with them. It's a long season, Grant. They play over 150 games. You'd like to think the Brewers are going to get things together.
I'm kind of rooting for them to have the worst record. Personally, I like the worst record officially in baseball.
Worst record officially in baseball.
Ever to happen.
2 wins, that's all they get. I wonder what the worst record in baseball
I
is.
think the Detroit Tigers have that. It was awful, whatever it was. I can't remember.
We'll have to we'll have to look that up.
It was in our lifetime, though.
Oh.
I do. It was like 2002, 2003, sometime around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and it was right...
Not really, if you're a Tigers
I think
fan,
it was right before they started, when that season happened, right before they played the Cardinals in the World Series.
Interesting.
If my memory is correct, which it could definitely be wrong.
It's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, Grant.
But I know for a fact that...
Everybody has those days. Nobody's perfect.
Stop.
You know who's perfect, though, Grant?
You didn't let me finish my
I'm
background.
sorry. You don't
let
have
me
time
finish.
for that. We have intern Laura's in the studio. You have to get her in as soon as possible. She just, commands...
Just puts all of her stuff over
She
my
does.
stuff. She's rude.
Yes, that's why we love her, though. But did
I'm
you...
just going to go.
You probably should.
I'm quitting for the second time.
Yeah, Grant is. We need a Grant quit tally maker on the wall or something. You keep quitting. It's ridiculous. Anyway, hello. Wait, is this? Do we get it? Is this? Are you a twin? What's with the hair?
Funny.
Yes, intern Laura dyed her hair. She went through her midlife crisis at 19 or 20 or however old you are.
To see the hair change, go and check out the Cube.
Yes,
No.
go to the Cube, Instagram, just Facebook stock Laura.
We should have
You
a poll.
Yes,
Blonde
do we
or
like
brunette?
blonde or brunette? Oh, that would be a good poll. Get the people excited. They don't want to see us. They want to see you. They don't care about us.
Aw.
Fine,
That's
whatever.
not
That
true.
no.
I mean,
I was
that's
ready
why
to
I would
quit
tune
a
in the
third
show
time.
and be like, oh, who's the cute intern? That's why I would too.
Stop.
Stop it,
We're
guys.
embarrassing her.
Stop
We're
it.
embarrassing her.
Stop.
Anyway, Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you, and you're doing well?
I am doing well. Are you doing well as well?
Indeed.
I guess.
It's a play on words if you missed it.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
doing well as well. Yes, it is well
you
with
don't.
my soul.
You don't do.
It's good.
Nice. You don't do play. You don't do word play with me in the morning. By the way.
Oh, it is
That-
one of
that-
those
it
mornings.
Takes a
doesn't
lot.
work.
Yeah.
How
Anyway.
was your morning, Grant? Was your
My morning was uneventful
Oh, sure.
until I got here.
Okay.
I was about to say,
And
I
then it-
hope it was
and then it
better
was
by the time
great.
you got here. Anyway, Laura,
All right,
you've got
I have-
a thingamabopper
I
for
do.
us.
I do have a thingamabopper for you this morning.
All right.
Well, in honor of Earth Day, I'm going to be addressing the sport of worm charming. Have you ever heard of worm charming?
I've heard of snake charming.
Snake charming? Okay, yeah.
I've heard of snake charming.
Typical, very mainstream. But I wanted
The very mainstream
sorry.
sport of snake charming.
All right, well, yes.
I play fantasy snake charming. Finished third in my league last year.
Well, no, worm charming is a little bit different, but yet very similar. It actually began in Williston County, which is over in Europe, in 1980. And basically, each competitor has a 3x3 yard. They changed it. Sorry, square plot of land where they have to actually charm the worm out of the ground, and like they have to get as many as they can. Exactly. You use music. You use vibrations. You're not allowed to like dig them up or anything, or use any sort of drugs.
That's what I would use.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking dubstep too.
I'd shake them right out of the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
The worms are like, what is going on?
They just come right out. And this is actually for real. I think the world record was 526 worms.
Whoa.
And you get 30 minutes. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
That is just, it's crazy.
How do they classify? Like the worm has to be completely out of the ground?
Yeah. And then you gather them and then you put them in like a little bucket.
Interesting.
And then actually when the sun goes down and all the birds go to bed, that's when they put them back. Because they don't want them to
I
get
thought they'd
eaten.
go fishing.
Funny.
That'd be an easy
That's what we
way
do
to go
here.
from
That's
worm
what we do
charming to
here.
fish charming all on the same day.
Yeah, that's what we do when I was little.
Hand-in-hand tournaments over in Europe. You
When I
know?
was little, we would gather night crawlers out in the
Yes.
yard and
Yep.
get them.
Like a biathlon event. First you get the worms, and then you go and fish.
Exactly.
Yeah, excuse me, it was not 526, it was 567. So,
Geez, get your
which
facts
is even
right.
more.
Get your facts right, Laura.
I'm sorry.
Get them right.
Yeah, so
That's
this
incredible.
Isn't that
Holy cow.
incredible?
Wow.
There's just
Worm
Well, and it
charming.
makes sense because worms come to the surface because it's raining, and they need wetness, so that's why they come up to the surface. So that's why the vibrations, you know.
Exactly.
And that's why birds peck
yeah.
the ground.
You're not allowed to use water though, or any other sort of drug.
You
Apparently,
should-
water's a drug. According.
Heroin. That's
Heroin.
how you get the
A
worm.
worm
Sprinkle-
drug.
Sprinkle a little cocaine
Yeah,
on
right.
top.
They'll be like, they'll come up and start
Come here,
sniffing
my
for it.
pretty.
Oh my gosh.
Come for my drugs.
Oh, no.
Wow. I had something clever to say and it's gone now. The cocaine got in my way. I just don't know what it was. No, I was saying, you could use a rain stick. You know, like
Oh,
it
there you go.
simulates
Oh,
the
yeah.
rain, and they'll be like, rain.
Exactly,
rain.
like dance around it. I
Yeah,
mean,
even though
Do
they
a
don't
rain
have
dance.
any eyes or ears, don't they? They have like I don't understand.
but they
either.
are two genders.
That's weird.
Isn't
That's
that
that's the
crazy?
real identity crisis right there. Instead of like a tomato, is it a fruit or a vegetable? It's like no. Is it a
Well,
worm a male or
there's
female?
also other ways for worms, but I'm not going to go into detail on that.
We don't pay you to do that, Grant. We talk about sports. We don't talk
I
about
took
anatomy.
I took a number of biology classes.
I'm so proud. So proud. Well, any other info for us, Laura?
No,
On-
just
on
worm charming today.
Worm
Happy
charming.
Earth Day.
Yes, happy
My
Earth Day. Are you
friends.
going to
We
go,
are the world.
Are you going to go plant a tree?
I am. I'm going to go plant.
course
I'm
you
going to
are.
go. I have plans to do that. Is that
I
weird?
didn't know.
Wait, that
Earth
was
Day.
for real? You're going to
No.
go plant a tree?
Do you question that when she's like, I'm going to go plant? Like when she had the haiku for us the other day, I was like, you actually? She's like, yes. Like,
Okay, I'm not going to plant a tree. I'm going to plant a little flower or something, because they're doing that over in front of the health building here
Oh,
at
sure.
school. They're having like a.
maybe I'll go.
You
plant
can
one, too.
4 to 6. Be there. Be square.
Ooh.
4
You don't
to
wanna
6.
be
I'll
square.
like be ready for getting to watch hockey instead.
4 to 6. You'll be in choir. Is what you're going to be doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's getting ready. That's getting ready for watching
mentally,
hockey.
you're just like,
Okay.
all right, let's go. Let's go. Okay, well, it is Wednesday as well, along with being Earth Day. It is also There you go, Grant. You're welcome for that reminder. All right, intern Laura, you.
Someone else can go first.
Okay, I will go first. That's the universal sign for saying I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. So, my what if to both of you is what if a women's professional hockey league started? How would the United States accept it?
I think it would take a very long time, unfortunately, to get going. But I think it would go a little bit faster than the WNBA. I think it would grow because hockey is more kind of like if you're a hockey fan and you see another hockey fan, it's kind of like, hey, you're a hockey fan, because it's not like the biggest sport, but it is a big enough sport where people could transition over and it's like, hey, it's more hockey for us to watch.
Yes.
That's kind of what, in my opinion, at least for me, I want to watch as much hockey as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care who's playing. I will watch it.
I'm kind of the same way about the women's professional soccer league in America too. Like it's just more soccer, and the best players around the world come to play because the United States has an established league.
Yeah. I think it would do good with hockey players, hockey fans now. I don't know how well it would do with people who are not exactly into hockey. But I think that the level of play would be not as drastic as you see between the WNBA and the NBA.
Yes.
And it'd be fun to watch some girls like beat up
Beat
against
each
each
other.
other.
Yeah, I had no problem.
Fight.
Oh gosh.
I might
Grant?
just play hockey.
All right, so my what if, we were joking about it before during the show, and I was thinking about it last night when I
Yes.
made my comment. But
Which
what
one?
what if the Packers actually go 16-0 this
They
season?
won't.
What if they do?
If they do,
What if they do?
ESPN would probably blow up because they would have to say something positive about the team aside from Aaron Rodgers. It would be a statement year for the Packers. It would be a big year for them. Rodgers might win the MVP award again.
I would think so because of how tough their schedule is this year. Well, it's not like I
It's
would
not
say
super tough, but it's
I'd say
enough.
there's some tough games in there.
Yes, I agree. Laura?
I think that Connor Christensen would have to wear a bag over his head. That's what I think. It's
If they go
that
si-
poor Vikings fan him.
Yeah, well, they could still make the playoffs.
But
Maybe. Have you thought of your what if yet for us, Laura?
no. I thought of like, what if we could charm other animals to come out of the ground? But I'm like, that's silly.
Like bunnies.
Like bunnies.
We could make the bunnies come out of the ground.
Oh my god.
I don't talk like that. I'm trying really hard today to sound like
No,
not
you were
super
sounding
high-pitched.
very professional.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Harness your inner Aaron Andrews. Just oh gosh.
I think I was talking. She did not. I don't think she heard.
I know. I
was
said
saying.
harness your inner Aaron Andrews. Do you know who that is?
Yeah,
She does.
he's a reporter for
She.
ESPN.
She's a reporter.
She's a reporter.
Just don't have your boyfriend arrested for cocaine. That's the big thing. Anyway, another exciting edition of the Backs and Grand Sports Show. We always work cocaine into the show somehow. I just don't know how it happens.
You need to stop doing
We need
that.
to. It's bad. They're gonna cut us off. Anyway, Laura, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh, anytime.
Always
Where
a
can,
pleasure.
thank you. Same for us. Where can the good people find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at intern Laura BGSS.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate all you do for the show, and we look forward to having you again back on Monday or
Well,
Friday, whatever day it
Great
is.
to see you on Friday. I'll
Yes.
see you in between then, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
If we are fortunate enough to see you.
All right, I'll put up some more charming pictures for everyone out there.
Can't wait.
Do it.
Enjoy.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, intern Laura. We will check in with you again on Friday.
All right, see you then.
See you then. All right, Grant.
I would never want to see a picture of 560 some worms just chilling. That'd be
No,
disgusting.
That'd be weird. Very weird. Not happening. All right, Grant. Another exciting show for intern Laura. Grant Coppersmith. Final thoughts?
Nope, none today.
None today. All right. Well,
no, 16-0.
16-0.
I believe that we will win.
Start
Play it. Play it. No.
I can't,
Just
that's the
kidding.
closing music. I can't play it over that. But anyway, for intern Laura, Grant Coppersmith, I'm Baxter Colburn. We will see you all again on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Earth Day and...
Update.
There it is. Like you have one job, Grant. All right.
It was the suspense. I
was
was
the suspense.
I was building up the
Okay.
suspense.
Have a good rest of your day, folks. We will see you again on Friday.